So this guy says, you bought a brand new 2023 just so you can gut it? Isn't your wife going to be mad at you? And I was so confused by that comment. I'm like, I think my wife would be way more concerned if I didn't gut this car. Like, she might even think I'm cheating on her or something. Because that would definitely be not me. So here we go. What's up, everyone? On today's episode, I'm going to start tearing down the 86. Well, actually, I already started. So as you can see, most of the interior is out for the backside. I want to keep this build very mild. It's not going to be like the EG, or definitely not like the Tacoma. This is going to be a very mild build for me. I kind of want it still pretty streetable. I don't want to have to climb in the roll cage like my EG. So I'm just going to do a roll bar. So I started stripping the back out to get an idea of how I want to design the roll bar. However, one thing I noticed about this car, it's really hard to build the roll bar to get a lot of clearance for a taller person like me, because number one, I don't want to put the main hoop here. This is super weak floor. It's actually probably weaker than a Civic. Definitely want to go up here, structurally safe, and it'll, come up right up here with this line. It'll be perfect. I already got that planned out. But as you can see, from here to the seat, actually this seat hits this. So the next step is I'm going to throw some Recaros in, see where they sit, see how low I could dip them. And I wanted to keep this build very mild. I didn't even want to take the headliner out. But one thing I noticed is the headliner has a lot of like spacers, I guess you call them, right here, that, you lose like an inch or two. There was a lot of gap between the headliner and the actual roof. So I want to throw that main hoop as close as possible to that roof. So I might put the headliner back in if I can. If not, not a big deal. It actually looks really good. This is an aluminum roof. I like it. So I gotta start planning some mounts and go from there. Maybe clean up some of the glue, because I noticed they kind of go crazy on the glue back here. But this is what a stripped GR86 looks like in the back, a brand new one. So it's actually a little different than stripping out, your old ass Civic, where you don't know what you're gonna get. But it's kind of cool, gutting a brand new car. But again, like I said, this is gonna be very mild. I don't need another, crazy Tacoma build. All right, so let's mock some seats up and see where we sit. It's been a while since I worked on the 86. Kind of got busy with life. So now I'm back at it. I'm trying to get this car now out of the shop so I can get back on the Tacoma. So we're going to go through. So here's some seat mounts here. The bottom seat mounts are actually PCI that I modified. And these are just my own side mounts that I have. So what I did is I actually modified the seat mount to where the underside is very cut up and rewelded and et cetera, to where this seat actually dips under where this seat mount line is. Now, for me, that's very important, because the lowest setting of that I did not like, because I like to have extra room, with your helmet on and stuff. So that's what it looks like. It sits really low. I'll mock it up in there real quick for you guys. The other thing is, for a while, I kind of went back and forth. I'm like, do I even want to build my own roll bar? Like, if somebody offers it, maybe I'll just buy one. But I couldn't find one that I liked. There's only a few out. and they're either like you have to be really short, or the other ones honestly were kind of sketchy, and I would be careful of buying one. So long story short, I am going to build my own, even though sometimes it's easier to buy it if it's offered. I just didn't like them. So I ended up gutting the car a little bit more than I even thought I was going to. The other thing is I really wanted to leave the headliner because it looks a lot cleaner, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because I needed as much clearance as possible. So after looking at this for a very long time, the main hoop is actually going to sit right behind this structural piece here. It just works out perfect, and then the way it comes down to the A-pillar and then going right there. So this is going to be a very simple bolt-on design. I don't want to weld a crap ton on this car. Like I said, I just want to have this as a very simple build. I did, however, gut it a lot more than I thought. All the airbags, everything, the SRS system's pretty much gone. But so let me mock the seat up and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So there is the Recaro mocked up. You can see just how low that sits. I freaking love it. I always want to be as low as possible. As you can see here, this is so low. I mean, I can't even put my finger in between. Well, there's probably a few areas where I can put my finger between the floor and the actual seat. But that sits pretty low. Really happy with it. As you can see here, gets pretty close to the panel. And up here I have lots of headroom. So even if I do an X on the roll bar, it's not even going to get in the way. You know, plenty of room. I don't have to make the harness go back because my main hoop will be about right here, then down. So it'll be close, but I think it'll work out good. It's been snowing for days, and it's supposed to snow for about 4 more days. It's about 20 degrees, but we still went and got some dry ice because I figured since I'm already here, I might as well take off some of the sound deadening stuff. It's only been on there for like 10 minutes, and it's already popping up real easy, as you can see. I like to let it sit long, just so it comes off nice, so I don't have to scrape anything. This car actually doesn't have very many pieces of sound deadening. You have like that, same thing in that other side. And then the back, we have this little trunk piece, and then this little piece. Oh yeah, I was messing around. Made a cool little strut bar for the back before I do the roll cage. So I think this is pretty good. I like it. I'm gonna let this sit a little longer, move some pieces around, and then we'll come back and show you cleaned up. But so if you guys have never seen the dry ice trick, it's pretty basic. So you just leave the dry ice sitting on here for like 20 minutes. Depending on where you're located, it's really cold out here, and I didn't turn the heater on to speed the process up. But if you're in a really warm climate, it could take a lot longer. You could also mix the dry ice with, I believe, alcohol, and it cleans it up even better. But when it comes off smooth like this, like, see how easy that comes off? It's really not necessary. It's pretty clean. This will wipe off. So we'll take some of these and move them to the back where I didn't have very much. I only got like, I don't know, I think like 8 pounds because there was not that many spots on the car. And I also didn't realize how expensive dry ice got. It was like almost $5 a pound. Alright, so we're going to let this sit, and we'll come back and clean it up. This is what happens when you let it sit longer. So this one's been sitting probably the longest, and it's got big chunks. So check this out. This is satisfaction. It just came all off. So as you can see, the longer you let it sit, the easier it is. And if you're not in a warm climate, the dry ice will actually last quite a bit, and you can do chunks at a time, so you don't have to buy you know, crazy amounts of dry ice, because it's pretty expensive. All right, so this back piece was kind of a pain. It was totally different than the front. I left it on for probably a good hour, and it still left quite a bit of residue on here when I took it off, even though I left it for so long. I think there was a different type of adhesive, and it was also a lot thicker. So what I do in that case, after it comes off, I take some Scotch-Brite with acetone and I scrub it, and it'll come off pretty easy. What you want to do after that is wipe it down with a towel with acetone and then let it dry. And then after that, you wipe it down with soapy water, make sure you get all of it off. And then same thing with the front. After you've taken it off, just take a little bit of acetone and stuff and clean up the little spots it left. And then again, soapy water after it dries, and then you'll be good. So this back piece, highly don't recommend it. So what we got out of here was, you know, probably a good 2 pounds. I don't do this for weight. I just do it because if I don't need it, I just want to take it off. And this isn't going to be painted. It's not, you know, a SEMA car or whatnot. It's just a simple, basic track car. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here, just because I was going to get into the roll bar install and everything, but I think the episode will be too long, so I'm going to split them. So there you go, guys. This is how you ruin a brand new car. But it's just a car. At the end of the day, it's just material. Materials don't matter. I mean, they do, but they don't. So also this strut bar, I might be putting into production if you guys want any. It's all CAD drawn, CNC bent. Pretty stoked. I'm gonna box the top of it. All right, so next episode, we'll have a roll bar in here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and all the good stuff. Thank you.